Hello everyone and happy Thanksgiving. So today I thought I would do something fun and I want to say all the books I am thankful for. So I have authors and I have books. So let's start with books. This is my pile. I did 5 books and then 5 authors. So first let's start with Archer's Voice. I am thankful for this book because it's like the one that got me back into reading. I've been like off and on in reading. I would read a lot when I was a kid, and then middle school I would find a book I like and like binge it, and then like binge another book and then kind of stop. So this one kind of got me back into my reading mood, and then I started getting into this, learning about BookTok and stuff. I actually wasn't on BookTok or Bookstagram or BookTube at all when I read this. I just randomly picked this up at Barnes. It was like in the $5 section. I was like, oh, that sounds really good. And then I read it and fell in love with it. And then I was so surprised to find out it's a BookTok book. And people absolutely love it as well, which for great reason. I've actually read this twice, and I went in and I annotated it the second time. It's so good. This is pretty much about a girl who goes to this small town. She kind of wants to leave her life. She goes to this small town and meets this boy that is mute. He can't talk. He can hear though. He just can't talk. So it's them falling in love, and it's just so good. It has stuff deeper than that too, but it's just such the most precious, wholesome, loving book. I love this book. Then we're gonna go to A Court of Silver Flames. So this is the fifth book in the ACOTAR series, and the first book that doesn't follow the main character Phaedra. That's someone I work with. Feyre, who it follows Feyre's sister Nesta. And I just love this book because I feel like it was so raw and real, and like just the way she wrote Nesta, I feel like had so much emotions that were kind of relatable and just amazing. So that's why I love this book. Plus I love this series. It's so good. Okay, then we're gonna get into Beach Read. This is one of the first books I read after being on BookTok, because I was on BookTok before BookTube or Bookstagram. And I picked this up because it was very popular, but I also picked it up and I realized it was set in Michigan, which is where I live, and I just really love it for that. Honestly, that's why I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for more books being set in Michigan, because I feel like a lot are set in like New York or really like popular places, and I love that it's set in Michigan because it shows how beautiful Michigan can really be. I feel like Michigan doesn't really get credit for that. It's actually really beautiful here, especially by the lake, which is where I'm by. It's about a girl whose father passes away, and then she goes to his lake house to kind of take care of things. And she realized the lake house neighbor is someone she went to college, was it? I think it was college, and he's a writer, and they're kind of like rivals-ish. And she writes romance, he writes nonfiction. So it's kind of, they're both in a reading slump, and it's in this town together, and then making a bet where they're going to write a book in each other's genres. And then these two kind of tie both in together. I have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros and the Mind F series by S.T. Abbey. I'll start with Fourth Wing. I really love this book. So beautiful. But that's not the one. Well, I am thankful for Sprayed Edges. Thank you for whoever created Sprayed Edges, because I love you for it. I love you very much for it. The reason I'm thankful for this is because it's about a girl who wants to be, she's in a fantasy world, and they have like dragon riders, but she always wants to be a scribe, which is the people like writing stuff. They're like kind of like librarians on steroids, maybe. Her mom forces her to become a writer, and she's this girl that's like smaller and weaker, and it's just her story of like surviving. There's also love in it, but it's her story of surviving and like overcoming obstacles and like, what am I trying to say? Beating the odds type thing. So I really liked that. It showed how strong she is, and as a woman who is smaller and not the strongest, I really enjoyed that. And then this also kind of ties in the same reason why I'm thankful. This book, the My Dev series, is 5 books combined into one. They're kind of short, and it's combined. I have the one that's combined into one. It's about a female serial killer that falls in love with the FBI agent that's on her case, and you get the background of like why she's doing this and like what's she doing and all that. And this is darker, so look up trigger warnings. But the reason why I like this, again, it's a very strong FMC, female man character. Really love that she shows how strong she is. Those are the 5 books I am very thankful for. Now let's get into the authors I'm thankful for. These aren't all the books I've read by her, but I just grabbed like a handful. It's Elle Kennedy. So why I'm thankful for Elle Kennedy is because I started with her off-campus series, which is this one right here. It's about 4 hockey players that live in a house off campus. They're in a college. They're college hockey players, and they live in a house off campus, and it's like each of them falling in love at college. It's interconnected standalones, and I really love them all. And there's a 5th book that kind of shows like all of them after college type thing. So the reason why I love Elle Kennedy so much is, first, she showed me sports romances, especially hockey. I realized I really love sports romances, and I didn't think I would. But most sports romances don't get too much into sports, to be honest. And these ones really don't either. They just were so fun. And I feel like she was one of the first authors that I just had a lot of fun reading her books. And they're kind of spicier than I'm used to and stuff like that. When I first started reading, because when I read in like middle school and stuff, I read like literary fiction more, so I didn't really read like spicy books. So, or in high school too, I didn't really read spicy books. These aren't that spicy though. Don't go thinking these are like ton of spice, but it was more spice than I was used to. Okay, now we're gonna go to Liz Tomford. I know you've all heard me talk about Liz Tomford. My love, Liz. I don't have the first book because I lent it to someone, but we have the Windy City series, which is Mile High, The Right Move, and Caught Up. These books, her writing, everything she writes, I can just like relate to. I feel like I feel those characters, like, except Caught Up. That one I didn't relate to as much, but the other two, like, it's such real raw emotions that it's still like a book that takes you out of like real life. It doesn't feel like I'm reading reality, so it like you have that escapism still. I don't know, I just connected to these books so much, especially Mile High. I connected to a lot, and I really loved that book so much. I just love her for writing characters that you can connect with, because I feel like some books it's hard to. I feel like they are partly me, so yeah. Okay. And then, oh, I have a lot of books by her. This isn't even all the books I own. By them, I should say. Christina Lauren. So, right here I have The Roomies, The Honey Don't List, My Favorite Half Nightstand, The Unhoneymooners, Love in Other Words, Something Wilder, and The Soulmate Equation. And I also own The True Love Experiment and In a Holidays. I haven't read In a Holidays, but I've read The True Love Experiment. And all their books are just so fun. I don't usually get a 5-star out of them, but I usually get at least a 4-star. And they're just like so much fun, and I love them. They're 2 best friends that write together, and it's just, that's so heartwarming to me. All her stories, just great escapism for me. I also met them, my friend Kara, who I've mentioned before in YouTube videos, but my friend Kara and I, we went to a signing of The True Love Experiment, and it was just really good. Like, they seemed so genuinely nice and just like genuinely good people that I love to support. So, yes, thank you. Then we're going into one of my newer loves, Abby Jimenez. Again, I've raved about Abby Jimenez's writing on here. It's just, again, so good. Such good escapism. Just keeps me, like, I just want to binge these books. Every time I read them, I pick them up and I don't want to set them down until I'm done because it's just so good. So I've read Part of Your World, Yours Truly, which these are interconnected standalones. The Friend Zone and the Happy Ever After playlist, which are interconnected standalones with Life's Too Short, which I haven't read yet, but I'm planning on reading soon. Half of these are 5 stars for me. They're just really good. They have like a deeper level to them, but they're just so good. I just love it. I just love it. Plus, I follow her on TikTok and she seems like such a cool human being. Like, she's done so much in her lifetime. It's insane. My last author that I could go on and on about, like, so many different books and so many authors. I just, like, squeezed it down to just a couple because I didn't want to, like, make a hour-long video. If you want me to, I would. But I didn't want to do that too. So my last author I wanted to do, I found in high school. I found her freshman year from my teacher, who I loved very much. Thank you, Mrs. Kinney, if you're watching this. I love you. Jodi Picoult. I first read The Storyteller by her. I don't own that book. I've read actually a lot of her books that I don't own because I read them through my school's library, or I read them through my library, like actual city library. But I do have a couple. The ones I have are Change of Heart, The Pact, and Salem Falls, which I've all read these and all loved them very much. Her writing just, it's more of literary fiction, it's fiction. But again, like, I just get so involved in her work, and she's just wrote so many different stories that she's done such good research on, and I feel like she should be, like, more attention to that. Like, it's crazy. Like, she's written stories about so many different things that she's had to, like, look into, which is insane to me. But she always, like, every single book, except I read her first ever book and it wasn't like this, so I don't want to, like, don't quote me on it, but, like, all the other books I've read by her have sudden plot twists that, like, I'm like, I did not see that coming. Hi, I'm making a YouTube video. Okay, quick momentary pause. Hopefully everything's okay. My cat knocked you over, so hopefully you're all right. Anyway, Jodi Picoult, love her. She's like someone who got me back into reading again, type of thing. And I just love her writing. She just keeps me entertained the whole time and, like, gives me jaw-dropping plot twists. So those are all the books and all the authors I am very thankful for. And I'm thankful for you guys too. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll see you soon.